I'm excited. It's me. Good night tonight. Hello, folks. Frelin Arts, a subprime hero. I'm here with my friend
Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
That's right. What's going on? You ready to get this brew going? All right.
We are brewing solutions in the Car Guy Coffee Cafe. Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast.
Yes. Wow. I'm excited. Tonight we have a special guest. It's a surprise guest for you guys. And it's somebody that we've known for a little while. And we've got to watch him build his brand up. And speaking of brand, that's going to be a huge topic tonight. Ooh. It's all about being your brand and how to be your brand. So, all right. Before further ado, let's get it going.
Let's
get our show rocking. This is the music, and this is the way that I like to get the show going. And this is the way I get pumped up. So hope you guys get pumped up too. Let's go. Yes,
everybody to the cafe. Man, I'm pumped every time that music gets it kicking. Man, it just makes a whole arrangement of emotions start to kick up some excitement inside of me to get some fun stuff brewing. I mean, it's like a good taste going with a good sound, man, a good conversation, chilling with good people, all of that stuff combined. Get you ready for a great experience. So welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, where we hope that you are going to have an incredible experience just finding a way to upshift and uplift your mental mindset, your light illumination levels, and your expectancy levels of what it is that you expect to be great inside of this world that we get to live in. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to be here too.
And I'm going to be wordy about it.
He is, and that's okay. And that's what's so special about Lou. Lou has a way of putting words out there, and words are very important. Words are what people use to communicate, right? So when you're communicating and you have these words, you need to share these words. Make sure that you encourage other people, and people hear words so differently. So you have to sometimes, like Lou will do, put out a lot of words, because sometimes it just takes that one word that he said that'll change somebody's life, maybe just influence them enough to maybe encourage them to do something that's something they never believed they could do until now. So we're real excited tonight. We have somebody special to be here on the show with us tonight. He is all about building brands. And I think that if you guys sit down and listen to what he has to say, he's a very special person. He's got a huge heart. I mean, probably one of the biggest hearts out there. And we're real excited to have him on here. We've been wanting to have him on the show, and this was a great opportunity to do it. So thanks for being here tonight with us.
Come on in.
Tonight we have
Chris Gomez. Welcome to the cafe. Welcome. Uh-oh.
We lost your sound, my friend.
Lost the sound.
There it is.
There it is. Yes. All right. Woo!
What's up, man? Welcome to our show. Welcome to the cafe.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I don't have
Yeah.
to dance or anything with that lead in, do I?
Well, there's plenty more to come from. There's plenty more where that came from, Chris.
Good.
Because a lot of the car guys and car gals that are listening or watching or getting the chance to get a glimpse of what's happening in the cafe right now don't know that you are a walking miracle. You are.
I am, in fact, yeah.
Yeah, you are something that is quite the anomaly inside of what our minds can comprehend as far as what is physically capable of happening inside of a human body. And I'm excited to just be having a conversation with you and getting the chance to do what it is that we do best, and that's find a way to help other people with the gifts and tools that we've been given. Oh,
Yes, absolutely. I'm comfortable saying I'm the most blessed guy you'll ever meet.
Yeah, well, I believe that, and I think each one of us have been blessed in one way or the other, right?
Yes.
And understanding that blessing and understanding to take advantage of that and understand that there's so much more in life that you've been given as long as you move forward. And you were definitely a testament to that, and we love your story.
Thank
you. Lou told me more about your story than I knew, and I remember just hearing it. And this was months ago. He told me about it, and how powerful that is, and how you were. Life is just so precious, and you know that beyond most people.
Sure.
And I'm so glad that you're here to be able to tell us this story. So tonight we're going to do some stuff a little different. We're going to start off with some fresh news tonight, and I think it's going to be real exciting. But before we do anything, we always like to open our show with our guests on something special. I know it looks like are you holding your camera right now?
Trying to.
All right, so you're going to have to set it somewhere, my friend, because we're going to need you to free up your hands. We'll give you a second.
I knew I was going to have to dance.
No, you're not going to dance. You're just going to have to just.
We get that all the time.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a perfect angle right there, Chris.
Customers say it too. I didn't know I was supposed to dance.
Yes. Yeah, man, you got a great side there. So we always love to start our show off with the Forgive, Focus, Fly. And the Forgive, Focus, Fly is super important when it comes to our base, our foundation of what we're trying to do for everybody. And it's really important. Lou's super passionate about it, which means I'm super passionate about it. And I'm real excited to have you be part of this.
We did it. We did it. Dodgers won.
Oh, go Dodgers! All right.
And they stranded him on first.
Cool. Okay. Kind of busy. Love you.
That's great news. Hey, awesome, folks. If you're watching this now and you're a sports fan, the Dodgers just won. How awesome is that?
Our blood is baseball in this family. That's
awesome. And we're that's actually really cool because baseball is an American sport all day, and it's such a traditional sport, and it's a foundation of this country too. So we're talking about foundation. That's pretty awesome that you love baseball like that. It's a great sport to be a fan of and to watch the history of, because there's so much history in baseball, and baseball's been part of a lot of different parts of history. So it's really amazing sport. So that being said, we're gonna get to it, but Forgive, Focus, Fly is getting ready to go down. Lou, break it down.
It's a shame because it's one. Oh, sorry,
He was doing it.
I'm
3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. That's right.
Play ball. All right.
So,
this is how we're getting. That's right. This is how we're getting ready to fly, everybody. We are going to apply the 3 F's so that we can keep growing. It's definitely something you got to do if you're ever going to pick up a bat, try to hit a home run in life. You got to forgive the strikeouts. You got to forgive the base hits that didn't actually turn into hits and the outs, all of those pop flies and things that you got to forgive yourself for. Let's do it now. So cross your arms with me there, Chris, and we're going to wipe it off. Forgive, Focus, Fly on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive.
Did you see my illustration of the guy doing that?
And fly. Oh, keep going.
Thanks, Chris. We appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. I practiced.
Yeah, you did it.
I did. Like every day at 10 in the morning, I would do a little practice thing.
Nice. So let's get to this. Let's get to it, man.
Let's
introduce this, Lou.
All right. So let's see. This is a fresh news meeting where we get the chance to talk about the great things that is going on right now for you car guys and car gals in the industry that are trying to find a way to build your brand, whether you're a dealership, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a finance manager, whether you're a sales manager, whatever level it is or whatever title it is that you carry inside of the organization, you are a brand yourself. And Chris is an expert at helping you figure out your brand and put it into place. So, Chris, we want to talk about the great news and the great things that are going on with you right now and how it is that you're helping car guys and car gals that are out there trying to take care of their families.
Yeah, and I
well,
think
you can separate it, people or individuals from dealerships, because I kind of, I'm passionate about both. But right now I think the energy is with my LinkedIn executive program. On LinkedIn, you hear over and over and over again. I mean, I can't tell you how many times a day I hear, I want to build my brand, but I don't know who I am. And so I built a program called the LinkedIn Executive that is designed to augment personal branding. It's a little background. About 3 years ago, I sort of got serious about LinkedIn. I've been on since like the year 2000 or something. But anyway, I didn't really, use it. So I came on and I'm looking through, and there's all these guys going, I build your brand with digital marketing. And, I'm an easygoing guy, so I didn't get really excited. Actually, I threatened their life because they're not building brands. So I'd get in conflict, but you're not building a brand. You're not building a brand. How can you tell people you will build their brand? You're a liar. And so, after calling a bunch of really nice people a liar, and then I came to the realization that what they meant by build was to build awareness, and with social media and digital marketing. And so I'm comfy with that. So now what I've done, or what I did then, was I built a methodology for crafting somebody's actual brand, and then let the personal branding strategies build their brand. Or, in my day, it's building awareness, but it's just getting you out there. So I created a methodology. I'm a nut about methodologies. In fact, the method that most brand developers use today, I actually created back in 1999. They don't know that, and they'd probably get pissed off if they knew. But so I created a methodology for taking an individual, and this brand has got to be toward advancing their career, or in a professional sense. So I'm searching all around, and I found this. I found academia was working on something called leadership role occupancy, and they're probably 10 years away from finishing it and all this. And theirs is really deep, but I got the basic understanding of what they were trying to do, and it goes to DNA, it goes to lineage. And so what now, if you went to like a Robert Half or something like that, and you got your evaluation, they base their evaluation on what's called environmental traits, your past, your education, your job history, et cetera, et cetera. They call that environmental. So what I did was I took pieces of this leadership role occupancy, which goes through your lineage, your father, your grandfather, all the leadership traits that they carried that you are bound to get. You have them without even trying. So I built a methodology that I can take somebody, an individual, and I can craft their brand, the LinkedIn Executive brand. And it's a blast for me, and it's so awesome. It's having such great effect for my clients that, you probably read some of the posts. These people are doing backflips. They're amazed at how I can come to a conclusion, and then when they read my conclusion and look at my brand makeup, they're like, "How did he know all this?" I had a half-hour conversation with him. So it's very cool. LinkedIn Executive, and I'm helping people become who they want to be.
That's really awesome news, and that's something that I could tell you're super passionate about.
Yeah.
You like you said, the last 3 years in LinkedIn, I think there's been some major growth going on in there, and I think there's been a lot of great influencers that come in, people who've talked about, like what you said, they talk a game, but what do they really offer, and what are they trying to bring? I think that you really, dove deep into it, and you figured out what the meaning behind it is, and what you're trying to bring up, and what you're trying to do is really. Man, that's awesome. And I think, like you said, you've been doing it for a long time anyway already. And now you're just bringing it up into this type of atmosphere.
Longer than you've been alive.
Hey, that's a long time. So that's amazing. Time flies. That's for sure. So we definitely want to bring that up, because we're all about branding. We're all about trying to be your own personal brand. We also have our, business brand. We have so many things that we're talking about, but then they all have to bleed together in a sense. So you have to
do a great job.
Well, I appreciate that so much.
Appreciate it.
The whole point, you know, is like building this brand. It's something that it's really nice about building a brand and really being passionate about it is it brings you to accountability. Like there's something you have to hold up to that end of the bargain, right? Because if you don't, things fall apart extremely fast because people will see right through the bullcrap.
Clearly.
Right?
And
So
people
you have to
hate bullshit.
Right. And so you have to do it all. You have to make sure that you're passionate. You have to make sure that you're doing those things every single day, trying to be better, trying to be brand focused, trying to make sure that you're getting it out there. You're doing the work to make sure it gets out there. You know, and man, and it's so key. There's a lot of people out there that are doing it right now. And I really love watching them, seeing what they're doing. I love what you're doing. Your posts are getting cleaner, prettier. I mean, everything about them is just more attractive. I don't know what it is, but I think you know what you're doing. And it looks really, really good. I'm excited.
I can tell you there's a story behind that. I had decades and decades of experience with the global ad agencies and brand developers.
Sure.
When I died, I was one of the top 10 brand developers in the world. And then I didn't even know my own name. So, it didn't matter anymore. But I spent so much time with the global agencies, and I was creative director on 3 continents for Fortune 500 accounts, Honda, Hilton, just on and on and on. And I'm really aware of this stuff now because it's data, because I didn't remember anything. So I could tell you every minute of my life. But at any rate, so with that, I built some of the best campaigns and the best brands. Well, about a month ago, I was building my ads. When a business owner produces his posts, his ads, it's a lot different than an agency building it for you. You have pressures and stresses that you have only because you're a business owner. So about a month ago, I'm pumping out all my, couple of posts a day. Boom, got to do it. Well, I get a message from someone you probably know that's a creative director. He's a young creative director, but he's a creative director for a global ad agency, and he was holding me accountable. He's all, "Hey, I know you can do better than that. What are you doing? Are you lazy? What's going on with you?" And he was pretty rough. And so I talked to him. We conversed a couple of times, and he was absolutely right. As a business owner, I was producing stuff that clearly wasn't up to my level and ability of producing work for somebody else. So I took a few days and revamped everything, and that's what you see now. So now you see the kind of work that I did when I worked for clients, and every post and ad that you see now, it's getting great attention, and it's getting the point across really well now. I'm not just putting out features and benefits, which is depth. So it's working really well, and thank you for noticing.
Hey, thank you for doing what you're supposed to do, and it's that's that kind of stuff that inspires me. As I've been growing, I've been, watching what people do, and I'm a huge study of my game, and I love to watch what's going on, see the difference, and noticing things like that, how that can actually really, perception is so huge to clients, right? So when they see something and you're telling them you could do something, and then they see what you're doing, and they're like, well, hold on, you can do this, but your product that you're producing for your own personal brand is subpar. So it's time. And it was honestly, Chris, it was never subpar. It's just that you're right. Could you do better? Yes, you could.
Yes,
and you
exactly.
did do better. And you did do better. And that's the key to anything. This whole, keep growing. And that's what you did there. You keep growing. And right now you've been through some stuff. And here soon, when we get to the Fiveliner, I'm going to ask some questions, and you're going to be able to tell more about you mentioned a moment ago when you died, and that's a huge story that I think we need to bring up so people can hear your backstory.
Because he just slipped it in there, right?
He slipped it in all nonchalant.
Well,
yeah, he did it. He did it all nonchalant. Yeah. So
it's third party for me. Seriously, it's third party. When I talk about it, I have no connection.
That's so amazing, and
there's
that's
so much to that.
That's why it's so. You
guys got to listen to this.
Before we go any further, I want to throw in some people jumped in here. They saying hi. We got Jason Harris. What's up, Jason Harris?
What's going on, Jason?
Mr. Strategy Mob himself, the boss.
I'm trying to get him to pick another color except orange.
No, he won't do it.
We got Christina.
I'm just joking,
Cooper.
Jason. I'm joking. I love the orange. I'm just messing with you. I take
Christina,
photos and I take screen captures and I change the color of the tie and everything. Then I send it to him.
Do you?
That's funny. He says, Christina says, "What's up, guys? Finally, I get alerted. Let's go. Thank you for being here tonight. We got Kendrick.
Welcome.
Kendrick's always saying hi. I love that guy. What's up, Kendrick? Hope you're doing well."
Brother.
Then we have Angela.
What up, Angela?
Angela Schultz. She says,
She's
hi,
a
Chris.
subprime hero herself.
I love her.
Angela.
She's amazing.
It's about
she
morals,
is.
Angela.
Let's see. I do. He's amazing. Yes. Then we got Kenneth Dunner. Now, this is a new guy. He's been watching us a lot lately, and I really appreciate his
What's
amazing
going on,
comments.
Kenneth? He has
Check it out. The conversation tonight in the coffee cafe sounds so scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly, tasty good, gents. his description.
Fantastic.
And he's
Can
just getting started.
you
He
say
is.
that? Is it said with an accent? Like, what kind of an accent is it?
That's-
You know what I mean? Is it
I
an
love
English one? Is what? How does that come out? I need to hear that sound bite.
And then Angela Schultz says, "Yay, Dodgers!" Yes.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's awesome. She's right.
That's
And we
so
got
good.
Charles Higgins jumped in. Charles, man, thank you. He says, rocking the new red handle mug. Just folks, these are available at the cafe right now. Make sure you get you one of these. These are amazing. They make this brew taste even better. I'm not playing.
Yeah.
And you just look cool with the red mug, you know?
It's a caffeinated consistency catcher. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. So, folks, make sure you get you one of those. And then Charles Higgins says, have to be genuine. You're right. Angela says 100%.
100.
She throws in a bunch of hand claps.
Yeah, I love what she's doing. Her posts are cool.
Oh, Angela's amazing. She's got a huge heart, you know, and she's very passionate about what she does, the people she's helping, and that's what it's all about. And you know, she has a huge future, and she's ready, you know,
She's
develop.
awesome.
Yeah, she is. No matter our age, we always need to be growing and improving. You're right, Angela. So let's keep rolling through this. Oh, Jason Harris says, "What's up, guys? LOL."
What's up?
One more time. He goes, "It was great. Thanks, Chris." Yeah, he's talking about the tie thing. Yeah. That's awesome. And that's great that, you know, appreciate you all for jumping in and commenting, and, you know, it's showing support for Chris. Chris is an amazing person. We're so, like I said, we're so happy to have him here on the show tonight. And we're going to get to this 5-liner, and this 5-liner is
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And we're, man, I know you are, just like we are too. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
5-liner is coming. We'll be right back.
Do us a favor,
folks.
help us get
Commercial break.
This party started. Tag a car guy, tag a car gal, and share this around real quick. We're coming back with some great news inside of a 5-liner. Oh, it's about to be some good brewing. Hold on, watch this. We'll be right back. Yes, break time. Focus. Fly. Keep growing.
Whoa.
That was sharp. Ow.
That was tight.
Right. So sorry about that. Wow. Woo, that was loud. So sorry about that, folks. We are back and we're excited. We're getting ready to drop the 5-liner on y'all. And this 5-liner is all about Mr. Chris Power Gomez. And this, we're going to ask you 5 questions tonight. And the first question is always the same question I ask everybody. And these questions are all just all about you. So please just, be as honest as you want to be. You could talk as long as you need to answer these questions. If it takes multiple answers, I'm all about it. It's all about you. So, Chris, number one question I ask everyone is, what is your purpose? What's your why? What drives you every single day to get up and keep growing?
My kids,
Oh, yeah.
clearly. That's why I'm alive. It's pretty damn obvious.
Yeah.
My kids are extraordinary. There was a time when I didn't know who I was, and my son had to be the dad. And the two of them. I have a son that's 27 and a daughter that's 25, and they're conquering the world like nobody's business. And they had to when I died, they had to the next morning. We were sorry, I'm probably taking too much time, but we lived in San Diego because I was building a baseball player, and that's the place to build one. And we were out of town in Westlake Village, is where I grew up, and my wife grew up. And we were visiting my in-laws. And my son was at a local facility working on his swing, which he's done every night since he was 9 years old. And I decided to walk down to see him, to watch him. And I never made it. So my two kids had to go from being, regular kids. I guess from what I understand, I raised them with good values and purpose and all that. But they went from zero to everything in a day, literally. They didn't know where I was. I was a John Doe for 48 hours because evidently my wallet flew bushes or something. And so the next morning they had to walk into a new high school, and they never went home. So at any rate, my purpose is my kids. Even at their age, I text them every morning of what I think their day should be in regard to their purpose for the day. And again, it's great. I mean, I don't understand. When I grew up, I walked out of the house at like 17 and a half, and never looked back. And you talk to parents from that generation, they're like, oh yeah, they got to go. They got to be their own adult. Oh, well, listen, I got to tell you, I'm going to be raising these kids until I die. And I just think if you have somebody that can do that, bring value, bring knowledge, bring experience, then why wouldn't you? So that's why I'm here. I'm here to raise my kids.
I love it. And that's
such honor.
That is such honor. And that's something that it's sad to say, it's old school, and people need to be that way. And I feel the same way. I have one child. And for me, he is a huge, huge purpose for me. If he is 17, well, he turns 17 here in 2 weeks. And
baseball,
basketball. I wish he played some baseball, but basketball. I live in Kentucky. Kentucky's more of a basketball state, but he's definitely he's a great athlete, but he's just a great young man.
It's about being a good human, is what it's about.
And he totally is. He has one of the biggest hearts I know, and I'm very lucky. I feel very passionate, and he's exactly the same way. Like for me, it'll be to the day I die. I will be continuing being his father. I will always be trying to help him, have the best of his life, and I can't wait to see him one day do the same for his children. But I can wait. Yeah. I can wait. I could pump the brakes on that, but I definitely looking forward to that. But no, I love that you're passionate about your kids, and I know that, if there's any reason to want to get up every single day and do something, why not? The children are beautiful, and whether they're 50-year-olds, your child's 50 or your child's 5, they're all beautiful, and they're your kids. There's no one else that could ever replace that.
I think there's another benefit to that. It's involuntary, but there's another benefit is, when it comes to business, I've got 4 decades in my profession and this and that, but there's no play in my game. I do what I do because it's professional, and I'm not trying to win any awards. I'm not trying to, it's like I said, it's on my sleeve. So I am what I am. I have a life. I have 2 kids that are just conquering the world. And so when I step into the business, what you see is what you get.
Love it.
Right. Man. I mean, that's a key piece that is fixed in there, folks, when really just looking at who it is that this incredible solutionary is and what it is that he's finding great worth in. Know that he's helping other people find identity. And it's so easy to help other people find something as key as identity, which you need in order to build your brand. If you don't have a clear identity of, one, identifying who you're going to help and what source, what it is that you have to help them. You know what I mean? What is it that you bring to the table to help the customer?
Exactly. It's a value point and differentiator. It's the same as business. Works for an individual. And I like to use the word craft. You have to craft your brand. It's huge. Listen, proliferation is nothing without first crafting your brand. Otherwise, you're just spewing.
That's right. That's right. That's completely the truth. And I mean because a lot of times people are so quick to spit products out and spit services to try to make the exchange in order to make money, right? A hustler is a hustler, right? A hustler is always going to find a way to make money. But when you're trying to build a brand, you are creating a commitment level to the brand itself, but also to the clients in which that you're making the commitment to.
Oh yeah, from a brandier's standpoint, the responsibility is horrendous when you think about it. I'm accountable today and 5 years from now. I use 5 years as the platform. I also help the LinkedIn executive people craft their career path, and then I set up 6-month milestones through 5 years. And so I call it a success path, because it is. If you just walk this thing, but I craft it based on them. It's not about me. It's about them, their goals, their dreams, and the reality of who and what they are if they can achieve that. We don't put something out there that is unachievable, because that doesn't do anybody any good. But the point is, for a brand developer, for a brandier, the responsibility is huge. For a product or service, the marketplace is moving so quickly right now in regard to brands and products and services and offerings and all that this is no time to be effing up. I mean, excuse me, but the reality is you put out a brand that doesn't work, you're screwed. You'll get dumped so fast. This is what's crazy. And tell me if I'm speaking too long or bore you.
It's your show. Let's go.
When I came up through the brand ranks, if you will, I've been through every phase of branding, lifestyles branding, essence branding, on and on and on, and they all get closer to the person, the customer, as a person, as a human being, and we get closer and closer every year. Now, the customer, consumer, whatever you want to call them, now the customer expects a brand to be an involuntary part of their lifestyle without them knowing anything about it. It has to just fit, or they'll cast it away. Now that's some pretty serious pressure, both for the product company owner that brand and that product is his life and livelihood, but also the guy that's going to develop it has a pretty serious responsibility of developing it properly and managing it. Now, management right now is something that most brand developers won't even touch. They roll out a brand and they go, thanks, check. Management is the most important thing right now. They're saying that you should manage your brand the way you manage your website right now. That means you're updating it weekly. So now when I build a brand, this isn't necessarily an individual's brand. This is a product company service. When I build a brand, I build in elements of visual and verbal pieces, chunks that I can modify moving forward to change the way of the thinking of the customer. And now I built a management program. It's the first time I've ever built a management program that for a monthly fee, and it's really, really small monthly fee. But the idea is every week I have a conversation with the brand owner about what he thinks are changes in the marketplace and in the customer. And then I allow 3 changes, modifications, actual changes to the brand 3 times a year for no charge. So what it entails is you have to buy a brand modification, not a brand refresh, but it's a very simple modification, so that I can then manage it moving forward and have pieces that I can change and modify and update moving forward. That's the way business has to be run now, if you want to stay relevant.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
That is some really,
So
really
much
key points.
just
I
got
love
poured
what
out
you
there
just
for you
dropped
guys.
there for everybody.
Wow.
Did you listen to him? Ever changing, evolving. Those words are key. And he's showing that's the truth. He's 40 years, folks, 40 plus years that he has been involved in this type of business. He understands that brand, even 40 years ago, all the way to today, how important that brand is and how you have to change it up. You have to switch it up to the point where he offers 3 changes in a
Mm-hmm.
year with his branding.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Management of your brand. A lot of people will just build a brand, they'll make it, and then they just try to roll with that. And that's
It's
it. And
pretty shade of blue.
right.
Right,
And
right,
it's
right.
just, and then what happens is it's hot for the first couple months, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden it just fades away because there's no adjustments figuring out what their current
Exactly.
market is, like he was talking
Yeah.
about. Man, Chris, man, that's amazing that you
he's
think that
dropping
deep,
such great
folks.
stuff.
And that's the
Right.
idea that when you're looking for somebody to help you with that type of thing, that's the type of mentality you need to be looking for. Not somebody who says, "Hey, I can make you a cool website. I could do this. No, you want somebody who's going to help you
Understand,
evolve with your brand, help you grow with your brand, help you learn why that's important. He makes really good points, and I'm glad you brought that up. So,
I mean, in any case scenario, salespeople, anybody in any way that is trying to get a product to somebody else, they're trying to make sure that they're giving you what you're looking for. And the only way to know that is if you know you contain it. You know that your brand has that. And as you make that correlation from coming up through years and years and years of seeing so many things adjust, the key thing inside of any brand has to be its ability to adapt, to have an adaptability to it in order to be relevant when things start to change. And otherwise it goes away. You know, I mean, you guys see us, tell me whether or not we're busy enough with our screens and all of our logo and all that crazy stuff, right? But the most recognizable thing inside of this entire screen that we all see is this thing right here, is still this soda that you can see pointing at the top of the screen, is this Coca-Cola symbol, because it's so seared into every element of our functional life. It is such a recognizable brand that seems to always be consistent in what it delivers, and it finds a way to communicate that to its people all over the place. I want this brand to look as recognizable as that brand.
I mean, come on.
And the key
that's
thing is
worldwide.
they know who they are.
You don't even have to be able to read. You just know what that is.
Yep. Bing bong.
That's one of the greatest lifestyles brands. And, you know, there's not many brands that can be lifestyles brands. Back when I worked with the global agencies, we wanted to build what's called top tier brands, and those are just brands that create equity and they just run themselves. I've built some myself, but the reality is okay. You know, we're in the data years. I happen to be on the fence about how important data is, because the unfortunate thing is when we were building brands like Coca-Cola, there was no data. The data was focus groups and the guy you hired, and you hired him because he was good and he was a professional in that space. And now they'll stare at data literally, you know, hoping something comes out and hits them in the face that's going to make a difference. Yes, I agree. Digital marketing and data, it's all very important, but it can't be the lead. It can't be your torpedo. It has to be reasons why. And when you're building a brand, you still have to hire somebody that you trust in having gut and having an understanding of what a brand is and how to do it, and thought for tomorrow. And you know what I was going to say was, even a product, service, corporate brand, which are all different things, they rely and are part of and a result of a human being. The person that the visionary that started that company is never going to go away from that brand. And you spoke of like energy points, like when you first launch something, you get energy. Well, that does play into a management program, because every time you change something, you create new energy, and that's very important. And every time you instill the personality of the visionary into that brand and reinstill it and re-energize it, that's what you get. You're going to get new energy. And energy, it's all about human, it's all about energy in any brand. I don't care if it's a mechanical product, I don't care if it's a machine, I don't care what it is. The brand has to go back to someone, a human being, because human beings need something to relate to. So that's why I love doing the personal branding, the LinkedIn executive branding.
That's awesome.
Because it's so about, I mean, it's, my methodology is so about that person and his lineage. It's awesome. The LinkedIn executive program is freaking awesome. I don't know if you've noticed the posts lately of my clients, but like I said, they're doing backflips.
And they
I
have
believe
been.
it. I believe it.
And that's super exciting, not just for you, but for your clients. And your clients are that is the telltale sign of things. When your clients are raving about what you're doing, then you know you're doing the right thing. Because that's what it is. We all are providing services. We're servants, right? We're helping people. We're helping other ones become. We're helping them become more. And what you're doing is amazing. And I love that you're using the power of your mind, that mind of yours. And
It used to be a little tighter.
So let's get back to that story a little bit. Lou, did you ever get to your question?
Well, no, I didn't get to my question yet.
Oh, I blew it.
Because
Sorry.
it's okay.
This is all about you, Chris.
Down the rabbit trail.
That's fine. We want that. We need that. That's what we're trying to draw. This whole Fiveliner is designed to draw all this out. So we're happy
we're pulling you through.
We're only on number 2
to get the best.
We're not even on number 2 yet. We're getting ready to start.
We're not even there yet. I still got to wind up for it.
But we love it. We love it.
But no,
fantastic.
We talk about a couple things, and there's something again that is a key piece of who it is that you are, and this is the reason why I felt so attracted to you. I appreciate the relationship that we've had over this time. We've had the chance.
We had
to
a great
have
phone
conversations. Yes, we had some great talks. There's so much that's in similar backstories between some of the injuries that you've had and the miracle that is my father's testimony as well. And there's so much that is he's still doing great, still doing well. I'm still believing that one day his tongue's going to get loose and he's going to get the chance to speak to me again. But he's
I lose my ability to speak at least once a month. The same dysphagia. It's a drag. Wow. Love your dad.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you the concern. He's definitely trying to make sure that he's making people around him smile anytime that you are around him. He's always kind of poking fun, always trying to get people to smile, which is ultimately at the end of the day what I want to try to do anytime I get the chance to be with people, because it does help us to build up our day. And a key piece of that is knowing who it is that we are, having a clear understanding of our identity. You are identified more in who it is that you are and rooted in why you do what you do, so firm that it's easy for you to help other people create the stamp that is them. You can help identify who the customer is, and you can help identify who your client is, because you know who it is that you are.
I believe that's true.
That's
because I looked it up.
Yeah, that's something that's real. So speaking of who it is that you are and we are and who's helping all this come together, I do want to say thank you for Think Ad Group and Elite F&I Partners for being our sponsors and for helping us rock some swag with their brands all over it, because they are helping to make sure that this message gets out to all of the solutionaries out there that want to find ways to just make the world a better place. So thank you to them. But here's question number 2. Here we go. Chris, why is it so important that before a business owner goes too far over the deep end in creating product, creating processes, even creating anything, that they determine and they have a clear focus on who it is that they are and who it is that they're there to help? Why is it so key that they spend that time developing that before they launch off?
Well, because failure is a real bummer.
Okay. Yes. Failure is a real bummer.
And that's all you're going to find is failure if you don't do that. This is okay. A funny thing is, back when I first became a professional and left college, I was in the motion picture industry. I ultimately was youngest art director at MGM UA. And I speak of lifestyles, and now you have all this data and everything. The way I did it then was I would kind of come with an idea of who I thought the target audience was, and then I'd go drinking with them for a month. And you really were able to get deep into their soul. But this is 2020. Failures are more predominant than successes. Now you have to think about that. Okay, if you're coming up with an idea for a product or service, or you're launching yourself into a marketplace, or you're trying to keep yourself progressive, this is 2020. If you don't have a very, very tight idea of why you're doing this and what you hope to accomplish, you're screwed. Done. Forget it. Go, I don't want to say mean things, inside of this, but, go deliver mail. because you're not going to make it in this space.
Yes.
Period. There's nothing wrong with delivering mail, so don't get me wrong. But the point is this world we live in right here with you and I and all these people that are out there. This is a different world. This is a different space. This is the most progressive space you can put yourself in. So you're putting yourself in it. So get the F out if you can't target yourself and your customer, go away. I mean that in the nicest sense.
As possible.
Listen, you get into my profession, you get down with brands and products, and it just cut it out. You don't be here unless you're going to be tight as hell.
Yes.
Come on.
And they are. You're tight as hell. My buds that have never talked to me about me helping them with a brand are tight as hell. No, a lot of them are what we call a lot of them are sort of mistakes in their brand, but they did a damn good job with their mistakes. Okay. Right. And they're passionate about their product and their service, and they know who their customer is.
Right.
Maybe they go drink beer with them.
Right. And that's the key of that's the entrepreneurial spirit, right? That's something like you said, failure is a bummer. And that's oftentimes what many entrepreneurs have inside of their backstory is that, man, there's so many failures that I've learned from, so that when I really made the identification of who it is that I am and who it is that I'm here to help, and I found the me in this crazy thing of life, right? That's when they were able to take all of those lessons of all of that blood, sweat, and tears that they've had over the years and put it to work. Once they said, I had that aha moment, right? Of that, this is what I'm doing here.
You learn what it is to be a warrior, clearly.
Absolutely. But a lot of warriors, they get older, they get wiser, and they come to find that, hey, sometimes you can find somebody out there that can already been through all these struggles, understands the algorithm of this whole situation, right? So when you can find that person, team up with them, it can save you a lot of that bummer, a lot of that failure, right?
Yeah.
And because failure, one way or the other, you hear the sayings, they're all out there, I don't fail. I either win or I learn. Right.
You see about 2,000 of them a day on posts.
Right. And I don't disagree with those things. I agree. I think the ones that never fail are the ones who don't even try. That's a fact. But the thing is that 100%. It's all about how you take that. But now when you can find ways to help you, and I don't like to use the word shortcut, but yes, shortcut into being able to get from figuring out having to do these 100 different trials to figure out the one way that somebody already did those 100 trials, and that's the whole point of almost everything we do, whether it be our doctors, whether it be our lawyers. They've all been through these different experiences, why you hire them, why you employ them to help you, right?
Yes, the life is about reps, and the more reps you do, the better you get. I mean, put it in baseball terms, and right. That's the reality of life. So if you can find somebody to partner with, i.e. a consultant or a partner or whatever that has reps that you can grab onto, that's the way to do it. But there's no shortcut. There is absolutely no shortcut. I've told my kids since they would listen, there is no magic in life. The only magic is from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, working harder than anybody around you.
Bam. And it's so true. And I believe in that. And I am so about that. It's so crazy. And I think that we are. Words that you're speaking it's in my Bible, man. And that's the way I wake up every day. I'm trying to make sure that everything that I don't expect to get something I don't try to do. If I don't put effort in it, what do I expect back from that? Energy is the only way you get energy back is to put energy out. You have to put force to be able
everything's reciprocal.
Right. I'm putting all the force I can. I am trying my best to make sure that happens. I'm going to go through my failures. I'm going to go through my successes. I'm going to go through it all, but I go through it with a smile and positivity every single day because I have people like you mentioned earlier, like my son. I have my wife. I have my family to motivate me. I have my friends, my partner right here. You're talking about partnering up. I have this guy. We have our sponsors, the Think Ag Group and Elite FI Partners. I love them people.
You can be real. You can be you. That's what it's all about. Then if you can be you, just get out of the way. The sky's the limit.
Right. Period.
And that's it. But you have to, like you said, you have to put the work in every single day. You have to be consistent. And when you're consistent and you do this and you do it right, and consistent doesn't mean you do the same thing every day. Consistent means you do consistent
mediocrity. It kind of sucks,
Yeah. If you're consistently not doing anything or you're consistently doing the wrong thing, that's not good. But consistent with the right ingredients, with the right formula is always the best way to do it. And that's evolving, making changes, doing, making sure you manage your brand, making sure you do all these things that you have been talking about tonight. it's an it's,
Yes.
it's,
Well,
it's amazing.
the combination of working as hard as you can from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, and a mindset that in whatever environment you are in, be the best and stand out. That's the winning combination.
Right. I'm going to be the hardest worker in the room every
Bam.
time. That's
Every single
my
time.
And they
son
will notice.
Knows that's
Right.
the flow that they have to be in wherever they walk.
That's what it is. You know, like you mentioned, since and people, folks who are watching it out here, if you played any sports in high school and you were that person who had to have the ball or who had to you just knew that was you, that is part of it. That's some of it. If you were, and there's something about that. If you were the person who trained your butt off every single day and you saw what you got from that, talking about getting reps and playing baseball.
If your dad or your grandfather we build that into your damn brand because you have characteristics of that.
No doubt, right?
Ooh,
yeah,
man. See, that's something that's such a key piece that puts another level on the entire flow. That this isn't somebody that's just trying to help you understand a couple of the magic potions that help your business go kaboom, right? He's trying to find out what is in the deep depths of the soil of what has created over the courses of the cosmos, creating time to get you to right now. How did this happen? And where is it that this moment has got us to go to, right? We've got to here to go there, to go to
it's
this
called a
place.
Predetermined leadership role occupancy. That's what scientists call it. I think it's irresponsible that it hasn't come down to personal branding, and it is now.
Welcome. Well, we welcome it. We want some of that over here.
We do.
Heck yeah, that's so awesome, man.
I want to talk more about your story. I'm going to get to question number 3 here.
That's pretty weak.
Your story that you've had in the past. You mentioned earlier that when you died, you mentioned your family was so important to you after you came back because they took care of you. Can you tell the story about what happened? I know that sometimes it can be deep. I don't if it's something
again third party. I wasn't there.
Right, but explain to everybody what happened and what you went through during that time.
I guess the best way to ask this question is what was it? What
Did
happened
I see light?
In first life? Or what was it? Something like, let's reference his first life. What was it like since?
What's it been like since your first life?
Yeah, something like that.
From what I understand, I'm a completely different guy. I had a 35-year career as a senior executive in the creative space. They said I was arrogant. Sorry, at any rate, I had a 155 IQ. They called me a creative genius or something. I never needed a formula. I never needed boundaries. I just, my wife explained that I would just take the intangible and build it out for somebody and show it to them. And it all changed in a second, literally. We were out of town. And like I said, my son was at a local training center working on a swing, and I decided to walk down there, and I never made it. I was crossing an intersection, and it was like 3 PM, and I got hit by a bus. Now, bus v pedestrian in legal terms. I'm so blessed. He was going 35, didn't even see me. He was a lying bastard, scumbag, creep, ex-Taco Bell employee. But nonetheless, he took me out without even putting his foot on the brake. And so at 35, I went through the windshield, and then it trampolined me, and I landed 40 feet down the road, dead. And the scene was just nasty. And EMTs resuscitated me. And I love points in the report that it's like they resuscitated me, and I was combative. I'm like, fuck yeah. I got to get out of here, man. Where's the door? Right. So anyway, then I went into a coma, and they transported me, and I was in a coma for a long time. And then I woke up without any memory in my life. And that goes deeper than that, because you have to understand muscle memory that you gain when you're growing into toddler and all that's memory. So they said, "Can you walk?" I'm up. Sure. Boom. So I had to relearn everything. I had to relearn how to speak, how to swallow, how to walk, everything. And then you go through social reentrance, because I'd call everybody an asshole, and I had every right to, So it was I can't even speak of how difficult it was. The brain is, my body healed pretty quick. I'm a pretty tough guy, but my brain still isn't right. I literally rebuilt a new brain. The best thing you can do, and they tell you this when you're a traumatic brain injury patient, is don't try to bring back something. Don't even try. You're wasting what energy you have. You only use 30% of your brain throughout your lifetime, so the rest is sitting there dormant. and they teach me tools to rebuild your brain, to add nodes, to fill them with data. And that's what I've done over the last 9 years. And I'm not the IQ guy as I was before. In fact, I consider myself sequential now. And when I say that, I'm somewhat disappointed having to say that, but I am sequential. I didn't need sequence of any kind or formula previously, but I do now. And if I don't, there's a thing called psychosis that's held me back for 9 years. It's only been 4 months that I've left the house. I was homebound for 8 years. Didn't go to a mall, didn't get on an airplane, didn't do anything. Couldn't watch movies. Haven't looked at my photo album from my marriage of 35 years because it freaked me out too much, and I'd go into psychosis and hyperventilate and wake up in the emergency room. So it was the toughest thing ever. The first 2 years with this brain injury, stage 2 TBI, was disgusting. It was terrible. I'd walk off and didn't know who I was, and they'd find me 2 towns over with bloody feet. And the sheriff would call my son because that was the only phone number I could remember. It was my son's cell phone number. And he would come get me. He'd come find me. And it was really tough. And it's really tough not to revert. Because the thing with the brain is fragility allows you to slip back into it. In other words, if you have a mental problem or a brain injury, traumatic brain injury, the easiest thing for you to do is give and just let it take you over again. And so it doesn't take much for me to be as well, as me, and you know what I'm saying. I have trouble finding the right words sometimes.
The woe is me effect.
There you go. Thank you. People laugh. My friends laugh at me, because I come up with these things that are kind of half right. And so everybody's laughing. I don't really know why. I'm the guy that you tell a joke to, and like half hour later I call you and I go, "That's fucking funny." That's the sequential thing. It bothers me, and it bothers me more than you'll ever know.
Oh man, yeah.
But it's okay. I'm alive.
And you're not
I'm with
letting
my
it
kids.
limit you.
That absolutely, and the reason why I asked that question is, obviously you brought it up a couple times, and obviously it's a powerful story that people need to hear. Folks, you're out there and you're in the dumps, and you think life is horrible. You have to think of magic.
Call me, man.
Right,
Get out
and there's a million stories, and out there that would blow your mind about people and what they've been through. Chris's story is powerful. To speak of his last name, Power Gomez. I love that, and that being said,
that's its own story.
I can imagine. Yeah, so the whole thing, that whole situation, forgetting who you are, how to use your body, how to do so many things. Not to have any memory of your last years of your life. I mean, that's crazy.
I got a funny piece for you. I'm sorry.
No, please do. Let's hear this.
I'm married to a beautiful woman.
Yes.
Much younger than I am, thank God. And when at the beginning of my awareness, she came in. She goes, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "You're the entertainment."
Yes.
Yes.
I've never lived that down.
Oh,
that's awesome. Well, at least you see that's what I love. Your whole, how you can laugh about the small things, and that's the only way to be. When you go through things, people either hold on to it like it's luggage and they use it for every excuse in the world, or they can use it as something that can catapult them to do something they never could imagine.
Sure. The reason I don't use it more is I am not looking for sympathy.
No, and what's beautiful about all that is that you are doing things that people who have double of what half your age, who have no issues, never lost their memory, didn't have this problem that they have to go through with their brain when it's fragile. The brain is fragile, period. It truly is, but it's so powerful at the same time, and you are proof of that. The power of your brain, the power of being able to rebuild and recircuit that brain and be able to reuse it in a whole different way, and yet do it in a way that's so powerful for other people. What you're doing right now and trying to help other people and using your heart and your motivation, your why, your family as that engine, that nuclear power plant that's powering it up to help you just go crazy right now and do things that are beautiful.
I love it.
And
there's a downside. My wife says I have to start charging.
Exactly. And you should.
You should. You
Absolutely.
should. They should sow
I
into
keep
you.
forgetting to send an invoice and stuff.
Yes.
You know? It's-
Whoops. I was having so much fun.
But the passion is
I
the
love
more
it.
you
I love the people. I love the products. I mean,
Yeah.
just like the visionary that created the product. I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
So
It's coming together.
Well,
yes.
the more you give, the more you're going to get. Period.
Sure.
So things may seem free, but they're not. When you do those things, that kinship you build with somebody, that trust you built with somebody, that to me, that's monetized in that way. It doesn't necessarily mean it goes in my pocket. It lines me with these green dollar bills or these greenbacks or whatever. But what it did was it partnered me up with somebody. It helped me help them, which it's not saying that they owe me anything for that. I'm nothing, but the point is that we've built trust together, which means there's trust built, which is something that's more important than money in a lot of situations, right? Trust is huge.
Yeah.
Having a partnership with somebody that helped you do something and they did it just because they cared or just because they could and they wanted to, right? So that's huge. So whether you're charging, whether you're not, obviously
I do charge. Don't get me wrong. So
Yeah,
no, I know.
phone's lighting up right now. But, well, I mean, let me tell you that the methods that I use now, my brand program started at 15 grand before, and by the time I would be done, it would be a 6-figure brand. The LinkedIn Executive full program is like $1,000 or something. I mean, and it's all the same methodology and it's the same amount of my passion, and the end result is just as badass.
Yes,
Wow.
it is. And I love your passion. I love what you're doing. Which what you're doing is which goes right along the lines of what we talk about and what our whole thing is. Everything. It's a solutionary.
Love that, Angela.
Yeah, I saw. It's amazing that story that Angela just put up there too. Yes, her boyfriend went into cardiac arrest. Tomorrow would be 1 year. He was gone, dead. Emergency open heart surgery.
Your boyfriend's badass, Angela.
He's with us, and he never uses as a crutch either. Crazy story of the afterlife. It is, and the thing is that people who go through that, I think that they realize they have a second chance at life, and in some cases it's scary to them, and in some cases it's something they take advantage of, and it's people like your boyfriend Angela and people like Chris who really motivate me to be like, man. There's no excuses. Just go. Just do it.
I hate
just
excuses.
do it. No excuses are crazy.
You make moves or you make excuses.
You just go. You go.
Right. You got to.
You just go.
Keep it moving. Got to
just go.
Keep
Stanford principle. Go.
Go. That's
Go.
right.
There are go-to-market, what is called go-to-market principles in this world we live in. And when I was in my young portion of my career, like before electricity, my kids say, the Harvard built the go-to-market methods, and they were called the Harvard principles. Unique. Anyway, when Guy Kawasaki and 1999, 2000, the new economy came forth, and he worked for Apple, and they were creating the first Macintosh. Everything changed. And there were new principles, and those principles are called the Stanford principles. And the Harvard principles were: you be as buttoned up as you can, and you work it till the cows come home, and you don't release it to the market until it is so perfect there's not a vulnerable piece of it. Stanford principles are just go, just effing go. We'll figure it out. They were shipping Macintoshes that didn't run, and they had calculated when people would get them home and plug them in, and they have an upgrade to them by then.
Wow.
So
just go, right?
Just go. There's nothing bad about energy and go and progress.
No, I agree.
It's sort of like say you're sorry later. Just go.
Right.
I agree, and I tell that when's the thing? When's the best time to start something? 20 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the second best time? Right now. So right now is so key for you to do something and to keep it going, because if you keep making these excuses of why this has to come out, or why I'm not going to do it until this, or when this is perfect situation, or I have this, or I have the most
screwed.
You're never
the market doesn't work anymore.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go for it, folks. Be brave. Be courageous. Do things that are outside the box to you. Guess what? They become inside the box once you do them. It's something that becomes part of your MO. So make sure you guys
keep your eye on the brand.
100%.
That's right.
So question number 4.
Yeah. So
okay.
Keying in on everything here, guys. So we had a fresh news. If you didn't get the chance to get some of that fresh news, make sure you guys go back, listen to that podcast, watch this live, watch wherever it is getting chopped up on YouTube, wherever. But folks, there's so much that's inside of this solutionary that we've had the honor of being able to spend this time with. And he has such a great testimony. Again, folks, there's so many things that we can take time to whine about that have gotten inside of our way, inside of the progression of where we wanted to be in life. So many relationships we can cry over, so many abilities that we no longer have that we cry over not having, so much money that maybe we don't have, so many opportunities that we may have wasted, right? We can cry over a lot of these things. This person's against me. This person's against me. Chris got hit by a bus. And this isn't a poker joke. This is not a joke. He got hit by a bus. You may have said that in figurative forms, people. Wow. I mean, he just 10x'd it. Okay.
Well, right shit, I mean, if there's a swan song, it's getting hit by a train, and I really don't want to do that.
Wow. No. Yeah. I mean, some things you don't need to level up on, right? But in this scenario, folks, he was inside of a flow of life. Okay.
Yeah.
And he got hit by a bus. He got stopped in his tracks, and then he had to adapt. He had to relearn everything and relearn how he was going to do things. So many times it's not so much what you can do for people, it's how you do it for them that you're paying them for it, right? That's why relationships are built. So he found a way to redo everything, not just the way that he walked, but the way he talked, the way he thought, the way that everything was created. And then he's found a way to reharness a gratitude towards life, a gratitude towards the things that are important to him, to help it be something that helps him prioritize things for companies. So I say all of that just to make sure that we just get this somewhat as a caveat to understanding the reason why this question is so pinpoint focused. What was it as you started to gain this momentum and you fought through those hard days and those challenges that you still face today, right? Every day you make a conscious decision to make it a good day because the body naturally wants to go against what your mind is saying to do, right? What is it that you would say or you have focused on? What would you say that you pinpointed your focus on in order to continue to strive and reach towards light, in order to come out of what was such a dark moments in life and continue to fight through, that you would advise somebody or you yourself have stayed so focused on that you would say, man, I tuned it into here. This is what I mainly stay keyed on that helped me to rise.
It's a great question. I can't imagine anybody comes forth with a defined answer quickly.
No, I can't. No, I didn't ask it quickly.
So,
it took me forever.
Right. I just, because if I had to just choose something, what I do now, I'm grateful for every breath. I'm grateful. And I have challenges every day of my life that won't go away. Thinking, speaking, that kind of stuff. So, but what I do now, in a gesture of gratitude and respect, is I keep an eye on doing the right thing. Plain and simple. I don't know if I did that before. I don't remember, but now, I joke when my buddies are hanging around and we're drinking and stuff like that about, if there's a lightning storm, I certainly don't want to be caught not backing up, my story because he'd give me another chance, but the reality is, I think in life, and this is the way I've raised my kids, and I think this is that answer. You're presented many times in every single day with a fork in the road, an opportunity, a yes or a no, a left or a right. All you have to do is make a conscious decision to choose right. Period.
I mean, it's simple.
It may seem simple. I break things down to simple. That's what I do.
Yes.
When I'm teaching my kids how to be extraordinary, how to be the best, I explain something to them. Every single human being, whether we look different, act different, have different language or whatever, we're identical. We are identical. Exactly. Every human being wants to quit at the same time. When you want to quit, When you're at your desk and you want to fold it up, push the off button and go home, every human being has the same impulse, identical, at the same time. Okay? All you have to do to be the best is pull out a little longer. It's not magic. You look at the greats in history, the great greats, and you go, oh my God, I could never be that. Yes, you can. You don't understand. That is the same makeup as you. So all that person did was work a little harder, shine a little brighter, go a little longer. Not a lot.
That's it. Just
Wow.
a little bit more.
Just a little
I agree. And that's so key. You know, you talked about, just be honest, right? Integrity. Integrity is key about
Listen,
everything.
I'm not saying be a weirdo, but you're faced with things every day. You're faced with things. Listen, you'd be a social outcast if you were, and they are. But nonetheless, but if you keep an eye on it, if you can honestly say that anytime that you're presented with something, and there's a thought of, should I or should I not? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And move on. Go.
I agree. That's I love that, man, and that's a good way of putting it. And he's so right. And when you can do that, you can really go pretty far in life. Period. Whether it be in business, in personal, in whatever it is, it all ties together. The one thing I've learned through my time, I've been in the car business for 20 years. I've been technically an adult for 22 years, right? So it's like in this time,
that's whack.
in this time, I have learned a lot about that exact thing. It's that when you do all those things and you have these principles and you start to realize how important your integrity is, you start to realize how important it is to be consistent, how important it is to do this or that.
I believe Angela Schultz has something like that in her tagline.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she absolutely does. I can't remember the exact terminology of it, but she does. She's very into that. My tagline is, I can't remember what exactly, but I think I'm a like something about like all I'm trying to do is grow every day, and that's something that I really laser focus on, because to me I want to make sure that my child sees that he gets encouraged to do the same thing with his life, and he sees the power of that. So we have, and speaking of Angela Schultz, she's over here. She's been commenting like crazy. I love.
She's on it. She goes.
I love true dealerships because of such. I will always choose the ethical path, and I know that about her, and she's right for doing that, because at the end of the day, it's so much better to go to bed sleeping with no conscience, that are just like, okay, everything's good.
Michael Landis, what's up?
Yeah, Michael.
It's you'll learn. Youth is forgiving. You can't go to sleep without it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I agree.
Period. But now here's the upside. They talk about, you talk about reciprocation and growth and 10 times and all that stuff. And by the way, it's all real. What you gain from just taking a philosophy that I'm suggesting is just beyond any growth you could have mechanically, or it's beyond anything. You'll sit back and you will swear that there's a light shining down and it's pushing you forward. But the reality is it's Mo, that's what you get if you live your life like that. Money's irrelevant. Now I know it's tough. I know it's tough to hear when you're sitting there without any and trying to find a place to live or food to eat. Money is irrelevant. That can't be why you're doing this.
That's right.
Right. Facts.
That's right. The Bible says that your gift will make room for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find out what it is that you have to give, it's going to make room for you to find the platform to give it. And
Here I am, 62 years old. This old guy, clearly irrelevant. And I found a way to just like torpedo my way in. Personal branders, watch. Here's what you do. Okay.
It's something funny. My wife earlier, she had said, she was talking about my son and talking about like my niece was here. She's actually still here. She's staying the night here tonight with my sisters in town. And
you're not in a studio in Hollywood?
No, folks, we're not in any studio in Hollywood. Unfortunately, we're in good old Vine Grove, Kentucky, having a great time communicating with people all over the world, man. And this has been an amazing, because here, and that's awesome that you brought that up, because it gets to my point, is that they were talking about kids taking tests online right now because of everything that's going on with COVID, right? So when kids take tests, they have their cell phone available. They have all this stuff that when you're in a classroom, you're not supposed to technically use. Well, teachers are not stupid. They know that these kids are going to be using all their resources. So they're not going to, you can't get in trouble for it because that's just that's what your resources are. So be smart enough and be aware enough, folks. And that's my point, is to use your resources that you do have. Using things like right now, I'm using social media to help be able to bring this word out, to be able to help share Chris's story, to be able to reach out to people and help. We use social media. We use these live streams. I'm using this on StreamYard, folks. If you guys have any questions how to use StreamYard, you could always ask or just go Google it. It's pretty easy.
YouTube.
But it's a great product. And with these things, this is what's helping me grow. I mean, during Corona, could I interview people in person? Heck no, it wasn't possible. We couldn't travel anywhere. We couldn't sit within 6 feet of someone. But now I could sit here virtually, have a great conversation, get to know somebody like Chris, hear his whole story, and get encouraged to be able to do my own thing and just keep growing myself. So, folks, I'm going to get to question number 5 because I think question number 5 is going to be a good one. Now, out of all these things that you've done, and I love this question. I used to say it was Lou's favorite question. Now it's becoming mine. It's kind of how we finish it with. Everybody has something that they from all the work that you've put in life, whether it be with personal, your brand, your business, whatever it is, you have these rewards we get, whether it's the reward of seeing your children be happy, the reward of, maybe seeing other people that you've helped build their brand up. What would that reward be? I guess I should say, what is the greatest of those rewards for you throughout your life that you think you can share with these people today about that you felt like that you brought onto yourself?
Well, I could be humorous and say a pulse, but
True.
The reward for me is knowing that I strive to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be. I want to be the best. It's not why I wanted to be before. Like my positioning statement before would be "get out of my way." Now it'd be "come on, let's go." The reward for any human being is the pat on the back. It's the acknowledgement. And that's peer acknowledgement and client acknowledgement, and that's my reward, is knowing that what I do I'm the best at, and I will continue my knowledge development so I know what the peer group is, so I know I'm the best, and that's not some egomaniac thing. I'll work really hard to be the best, and I'll find out what was the best yesterday, and my next brand will be the best.
I agree.
Wow. So it's achievement is you have to have reward for achievement. That's all part of that reciprocal thing. So I would have to say that knowing that what I do and what I offer is the best, and now I offer it just because I meet people that I like, and I go, oh my God, we have to do this.
So. Absolutely, man, and you are the best, Chris, and we appreciate you, man. You've been an amazing guest. I love your story. I love everything that you talk about. I love what you are about. I love the second Chris a lot. I didn't get to know the first Chris, right?
I like the new Chris.
But this new Chris is an amazing person. This new Chris has a passion about him. This new Chris has so much to offer, not just to his family, but it's so much that he's offering it to everybody. He's sharing it with the world. Folks, reach out to Chris. I mean,
I get frustrated because when people don't reach out and they say things, in one of your podcasts about, I don't know why come on here. Answer questions 1 through 43 and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, there you go. So the best part about all that, it's as easy as reaching you. And I think LinkedIn is your favorite platform.
My only platform.
Right. So folks, if you haven't connected with Chris Power Gomez. Now, before we go, besides that, what
okay, I thought that'd be the first thing you ask.
We should have asked that. I
don't
know why
Power Gomez.
Tell
it's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful story. Power is my mother's side. Gomez is my father's side.
Absolutely.
And it was a calamity. They were only married for, not very long, but my dad is a Navy boxer. Okay. A belly gunner. Okay. This is a man's man, Russ Gomez, just badass. Had nothing. Didn't even have shoes when he was growing up. My mother Nancy Power. The Power family owned from Long Beach to the Mexican border when it was all citrus groves. My grandpa, John Robert Power, is the founder of the Long Beach Harbor, paved the first road into Pasadena with the blue blood of blue bloods.
Wow.
These are two opposing worlds. Okay.
Wow.
Now, the Power family lived on a ranch in Orange County. They were Orange County, and they donated land to build Orange College. Well, my mother was at a dance at Orange College, and my father snuck in. Okay. So, and you know, he's a big, strong, good-looking guy, and the Power family was not happy about embracing Gomez, and I love both sides so much, and I am a part of both sides so inherently. It's wonderful, and so Power Gomez, John Robert Power only had 3 daughters, and he asked that they continue the name.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm a Power Gomez, and my children are Power Gomez's.
I love it, man.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
it's awesome that you can honor both family sides.
Exactly.
Like that, you know?
My grandma Power was just wonderful.
You know, in the Hispanic culture, that's like common for that type of naming to be put, you know, where you have the mother's last name and then the father's last name, and then they combine them like that. And I think it's neat that you were able to do that in the American culture. So
Means a lot to me. A lot of times, if something gets dropped, I'm Gomez. I didn't use Power Gomez in high school. My friends thought I was in a cult or something. And my son, when he was in his youth playing baseball, he's a monster baseball player. He went by Josh Gomez. It's fine. Whatever your personality, you know, I'm a Power Gomez, and I love both sides of my name.
that's
awesome.
right, man.
That is awesome.
That's an amazing thing. You know, my mother's side would be Song. Always loved her last name, Song. That's Korean.
Cool.
And it is. So my niece is actually, her middle name is Song. Her name is Bella Song, and I always loved that. So yeah, so awesome. Very cool.
My wife wanted to name our son like Ultimate.
Yeah. Ultimate Power Gomez.
That
would have been so awesome.
That would have been
Man,
awesome.
That's making me want to have to announce this real quick, folks, because you did inspire me with your answer to our last question in the Fiveliner. And just saying that you want to be the best around, and you know, with a name like Power Gomez, I want to always announce to everybody that this story is about you. That you have the opportunity to be the best around. You have the opportunity to find a way to succeed.
Yeah.
But you are not in competition with anybody else other than you. You are trying to be the best version of you today, and all that you actually have to be committed to growing is 1% better each and every day. So just like Daniel LaRusso and all the other solutionaries that find a way to kick butt at life, like my man, Christopher Power Gomez, who comes through like a champion doing some great things because he's a true solutionary, helping you build your brand. Car guys and car gals, I can't tell you how excited I am that we got through a fresh news session and a great Fiveliner that has been so insightful and so humbling. Folks, there's nothing that can stop you if you stay committed to keep growing. And once again, the way to keep growing is to forgive, focus, and fly.
That's right.
I am so thankful that we had the opportunity to be with you tonight, Chris.
Hey, do I get a coffee mug now?
Absolutely. You can get you some swag. I'm glad that you said that, because you can get you some swag by going to CarGuyCoffee.com.
That's the only reason I did this.
Well, one is coming to you, my friend. But if anybody else wants to get themselves some swag, you can go to CarGuyCoffee.com. And if you need something to put inside of your cup, we also have some caffeinated consistency.
That's good. You guys, you're extending your brand.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We're trying. We are trying.
We're making adjustments
sure
as needed,
there.
right? So
That's
we're always evolving, and we're trying to grow.
growing.
That's it. Keep growing.
That's
Constant
right.
growth.
I love it.
Because goals change all the time. They get bigger. You picture
You have to.
the movie, you start to see it, and you're like, "Whoa, this
$1
ending."
million.
You know that's right. So we do appreciate you for being on the show, folks. Everyone out there, make sure you reach out to Chris, because he is all about he's all about you. He's all about your brand. If you come to him, he's going to show you the ropes. He's going to teach you what you need to do. He's going to make sure that you have success set up for just everything that you need. He's also going to make sure that you have management for your brand. Check him out. It's all in his heart. All he wants to do is help.
Thank you so much, everybody
that
has been part of the party tonight. Make sure that you stay focused on making some incredible things happen out in the fields that you're in. There is nothing that's going to stop you except you.
That's right.
Nothing.
Bam.
You
Kind of
guys make some great things happen. We appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, man. Y'all take care. We'll see you laters.
Focus.
Fly. Keep growing.